Alright, for starters, you need foundation. Foundation evens out your skin tone, and unless you have like a really good complexion, you're going to need foundation. Everybody's going to need foundation. For me, I don't have problems with blemishes. I rarely get zits. I'm lucky, knock on wood. But other people do. Blemishes, it covers them up. But I also have pretty uneven skin. I get very oily up here, very dry right here. It's a mess. And I have a lot of, you see them? Got a lot of freckles. So, foundation just evens everything out. Now, if you want, you could buy some theater makeup. Ben Nye's got a really great collection of stuff. There we go. Ben Nye. Boom. It's really nice. It's good for theater use, not so much for street use or everyday use. The only problem with Ben Nye, in my opinion, is it's expensive. So, you don't want to go that route. Then you can just use any old foundation that you can buy. I use CoverGirl. Really cheap. Buy it at Walmart. It's just as effective. You're just going to lay it on a little thicker than you would for your regular street makeup. There's a huge difference between street makeup and theater makeup. Theater makeup is thicker. It's got a lot more exaggeration to it. You're going to go subtler and less thick, I guess, if you're just doing regular street makeup, if you're just going to go out to a party, or if you're one of those people who wears makeup on a daily basis. I don't, but theater makeup is very different. It is also going to depend on your venue. If you're doing a show in a very small venue, like a black box theater, something that's very close and intimate to the audience, less is more. You do more like you would for everyday makeup. However, if you're performing in a big auditorium with hundreds of seats, you're going to put on a lot more, and it's going to be a lot more exaggerated. So, foundation, number one. From there, you'll want an eyebrow pencil, something for your eyebrows. There's any variety of those that come into play, and depending on what your skin tone is and what your hair color is, I've got a variety of things. I've got eyebrow pencils for my everyday use, because if you look at me, you can even see in this video, you can't see my eyebrows. They're blonde. However, some people have nice, lovely, thick, dark eyebrows, and you probably won't need them. But I also always keep a black for theater use. But it can range anywhere from a blonde to a black, depending on, again, venue and what I need it for. Eyebrow pencil. Foundation, eyebrow pencil. Eyeshadow you need, and again, depending on what your needs are, you can get any kind of palettes. I've got all sorts of different colors and varieties. So today I'm going to do more of a natural look, so I'll want something that is a bit more on the natural scale, which I have. So that would be browns and tans. Again, it's going to vary depending on your complexion, so get what you need. If you're going for a natural look, you'll want more of a flat look and less of a shimmery. A lot of eyeshadows tend to have like this sheen to it, this shimmer, this glittery kind of texture to it, and you'll want to try to avoid that if you're going for more natural. When in doubt, you can always find rouges or blushes that are like that, or you can use foundation. Okay, so eyeshadow. You'll want an eyeliner. Eyeliners, for me, again, because if you look, my eyelashes are blonde and you can barely see them, so I need all the help I can get emphasizing my eyes. When I get on stage, stage lights, here, I'll just demonstrate just a little bit here of what that is like. Everything just kind of disappears for me because I'm so pale and I'm so blonde that I become like a ghost on stage. You can see everything just kind of disappears. So depending on your complexion and the color of your eyelashes, color of your eyebrows, color of your hair, it's going to vary what you're going to need as far as eyeliner goes. For me, for theater, I use black. And there's different types of eyeliner too. You can go with a pencil, which is a lot like your eyebrow pencil. I personally don't like these because it takes a lot of pressure to get it to apply to your skin, and it is painful and you have to sharpen them all the time. There's also liquid eyeliner, which you can get in a bottle. It comes with a little brush. It's like a little paintbrush. Or they now have these that are kind of like a felt pen almost. I don't really like these either. The brushes, it tends to be like you have to have a really steady hand to get a really good line out of it, and lots of practice. This helps a lot, but then there's also the wetness factor. It stays wet. You have to wait for it to dry. It's the pain. So I personally like the wax ones, which you see that at all? Blink. And you turn it, and the little tip comes out, and it's like a waxy kind of eyeliner. Goes on really easily, goes on nice and smooth. You just click it to make more to come out. That's my personal preference. Everyone's going to have a different preference. I prefer the wax ones. You'll need mascara. Boom. Again, look, CoverGirl. CoverGirl. Again, it's going to depend on what you have. If you have nice, dark, thick eyelashes, you're probably not going to need this. I don't. I have nice eyelashes, but they're blonde and they disappear. So I need to wear a ton of mascara. Rouge or blush you will need. Again, I'm going to be working on a natural look today, so just a, I don't know if it's broken, but just a nice non-shimmery sweet little pink is perfect. But you can get anything from reds and pinks to browns to purples. There's all different colors depending on what your needs are. For a natural look, I suggest pink. Pink is a color that is in everyone's complexion, especially if they're nice and healthy. You get pink that comes out, so pink. And then lipstick. Lipstick. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. Some lipsticks are nice and cheap, some are really good to use. Depending on what I need, justifies what I buy. So from there, some other things you might want to get are powder, just a translucent powder, and sealant, which I don't have, which we'll talk about a little later. And then I would recommend a collection of brushes. I use 4 different brushes here. They're stained. Some of them need to be cleaned. But there's a smaller brush that I use for eyeshadow. There's an even smaller, more detailed brush. I use this for my lips. I also use this for contouring and old age lines and any other detailed work that I need. There's these poofy brushes. The smaller one is for blush or rouge, and then the bigger one is for powder. Everybody has different preferences in brushes. Those are the 4 that I use. You could also get things like an eyebrow brush, which I never use it. It's just got glue stuck to it. Depends on what you need, right? I prefer brushes. Every single one of these eyeshadows and blushes and stuff come with these little applicators. You can see this one is just really gross. It's got stuff caked on it. After so many uses, it just starts to get disgusting, and you start to get bacteria and all sorts of stuff. So I don't recommend using those at all. They're not very effective anyway. I just wind up usually throwing them away. And if you do use them, you'll want to throw them away after just a couple of uses anyway, because they're going to get gross and disgusting. For these brushes, if you get a nice collection of brushes, you can wash these, you can clean these, and use them again and again and again. So brushes, recommend it. And then of course moisturizer and things to clean your face, which I'll talk about a little bit later. I'll go through the cleaning process as well. So now you're done with your show and you want to get all this stuff off. Here's a few tricks that I have learned. Invest in a wipe. Yeah, that's right, a wipe. So you can buy nice makeup wipes, which are really nice for your face, or I just use baby wipes. However, baby wipes are not the gentlest on your face. And they'll dry your skin out really bad. But you use a wipe to wipe off as much of the makeup as you can. Before I do this, I'm going to take a quick selfie. So anyway, baby wipes. Use them to wipe off as much of the makeup as you can. Again, they have makeup wipes out there that are gentler on your skin. Better for you in the long run. But baby wipes are super cheap. And they last forever. Even when they dry out, all you have to do is run them under the water. And then you can still use them. Now, you don't want to stop here. This is not a thorough clean. You can see there's stuff under my eyes. There is eye makeup remover out there that you can buy that could be helpful for getting off mascara. I just try to scrub it off as much as I can, and then I let nature take its course. Which means usually I wake up in the morning and I get like these big black boogers in my eyes. After you're done with this, then you'll want to use a facial wash. As part of my makeup kit that I always bring to the theater with me, I always have some cold cream, some deep cleansing skin cream. Won't overdry your skin, refreshing deep clean. And a washcloth. I always bring a washcloth with me. But you use that to really wash off and scrub it in there like all over, and then rinse it off and maybe even do it twice. Then when you are done with that, get all of your makeup on. The last thing you do is you reapply your moisturizer nice and thick, really get it in there, and make sure that you really pat it into the sensitive parts of your face, like under your eyes, because these are the parts that are going to get raw and they're going to get sensitive from application after application. So use the wipes to wipe off the excess, use the cream to wash off everything else and really do a deep cleanse, and then moisturize everywhere.